So here we are, Lori, moments with Marlin.
I'm so excited! Marlin!
Yay, here we are again.
This is my dream, the
Wait.
launch.
A dream for some, a nightmare for others. So yes.
No, it's our dream, our moments with Marlin Hargrove. How many letters are behind your name?
Individuals or just the it would be the PFCIAAF.
Okay.
Plenty.
All of
Plenty.
those.
Yeah. All the ones I worked for. So there you go.
Impressive resume, I might add.
And an impressive designer, impressive person, and a great friend. So I'll take all those.
Yeah.
I like the last part the best. A great friend. That's what I want to be. I
Yes.
want to be that.
So you've been on the pod before, and our pod world fell in love with you. I don't know how many conversations Vonda and I have where we're like, when can we have Marlin on again? What else? Oh, should we have Marlin on again? What should we do? We need a little theme. So we've decided we're going to have moments with Marlin.
I will come back and have a moment with y'all anytime.
Come back. And so we are in our little group text, and you said something the other day, because you always send us the most inspirational things. And one of the things you said was something about you just want to help people make it pretty. And Vonda and I are both of our eyes at the same time. We were like, oh my gosh, that's it. That's what we're going to talk about.
Let's talk about it.
That's easy enough.
Because it's so true. Because what exactly does that mean? Making it pretty from a designer perspective or
consumer,
like me, consumer. And how do you balance that? Because sometimes what I think is pretty, because we've talked about it, I remember around Christmas time, decorating trees, right? What I think looks really good, ribbon. I think I was even texting you colors, and you were like, and I'm like, I love it. And you're like, I don't know. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? So how do you navigate?
So Lori, before we do that, I've seen some posts that Marlin has had. Were you at Green Valley or
Green Mountain Floral Supply in Burlington.
So you had a lot going on there. What was going?
I am their education. I've got an official title. Oh, here it's. Let me see. Artistic Director and Floral Educator.
Oh, wow.
They've given me a title and a card. How about that?
And fancy.
Yeah, it is. It's very fancy. Very fancy. No, they're wonderful people. I've been friends with them for years. And it's an independent wholesaler, family business. And I love it that they believe that be the change you want to see. They've taken on the challenge of, I want my customers to be smarter about how they design, how they buy, how they coordinate, how they implement things. And so they take it upon themselves to educate their customers. Years ago, we had design shows and different workshops and things that everybody could learn from. But then when that died away, it's up to the individual vendors and businesses now to promote that. Hey, how can I make my people smarter? In turn, it's going to make me more profitable and make me smarter. I'm elevating everyone. So I'm elevated. And so they created a physical education center, a classroom that they invite folks to. And we had one class we did was a weddings class, and it was just our tester class to see how it worked. They invited some of their wedding designers in, and we did a live consultation as a group. We took that information and not sharing the information amongst the students, but everybody keeping their own brain on it of what they heard from this bride. And we took that information and turned it into a shopping experience, a design experience, a selling experience back to the bride. And at the end of the thing, we had what we gleaned from that consultation and brought it to life.
So you had the consultation with the bride, several of you. So you had her in.
The group had the consultation with the bride, but everybody got to ask their questions, and everybody gleaned from everybody else's questions. But we took all of that information, and then everyone got to interpret what they heard.
Right. Ooh, yeah.
So it got to the point of, I don't really like purple. Did everybody in the consultation here, I don't like purple? Some might have and some might not have. So when it comes to the end and they've done their shopping and they've done their designing, and this bouquet's got a lot of purple in it. Did she not say she didn't like purple? What are we hearing when we're talking to these people?
Yeah.
And we literally had a young lady there. It was their daughter. But anyway, we pretended she was, and I said, the sky's the limit on your wedding. just walk us through this consult. Come in as just a regular Joe bride, and let's just have this consultation with these professionals, and let's do it. It was really an enlightening experience for
Wow.
everybody
Yeah.
because we got to see the whole process.
Right.
And then there was the wholesale element from Green Mountain that they were trying to instill in their customers timelines and quantity purchasing and substitutions and things that the wholesaler has to deal with behind the scenes that the retailer may or may not even
Right.
consider. Oh, I've got to have this wedding, got to have this flower. Okay, your wedding's 2 days away. Had it been 3 weeks ago, we could have gotten it with no problem.
Mm-hmm.
And but you always get everything I want. It's literally 2 days away. We can't.
Right.
And I was waiting. We love the excuse. I'm waiting on a table count. Okay, is the table count really going to change that much? And is it really going to affect whether you get one bunch or two bunches? I don't think so.
Mhm.
And how to buy smarter so that you can consider everything from a large church arrangement down to an attendance bouquet to a little corsage. All of that can be in the purchasing. So it's just makes the purchasing smarter, more profitable. It was a great experience. And so now we've gotten our feet wet. And so our next seminar, which is going to be at the end of July, borrowing, influenced by the name of a dear friend's podcast, we're doing the art and business of flowers, funeral fundamentals.
Oh.
And so we will change the approach at the end
Uh-huh.
behind the art and business of flowers. And
Love
so we're doing a funeral emphasis. My desire for that is my dad died in January, and I got to experience the consumer side of funeral work from
Yeah.
sitting in the pew and looking at it. And I don't always get that opportunity. And glorious event. My dad was wonderful, lived a great life, and he had a beautiful death. But I was looking at the flowers going, wow, that's what funeral work is now. It's different than when I was working in retail, pumping out funeral work
Yeah.
every week. So it's scaled down. And I'm Southern. I like big and bodacious. And that's not necessarily the to-do anymore. So it was interesting to me, but I thought, let's get that to be a more effective and more profitable and more beautiful presentation for final
Mhm.
tributes. So let's focus on funerals. So that's coming up. And we're just going to try to do it once or twice a year and get some new topics. And we're listening to the customers of, hey, what do you want to hear?
Mhm.
And then they throw out the ball and we just run with it.
It's awesome. And are they seeing the fruits of that labor? I would guess, especially with wedding.
Interesting with the wedding purchasing, that was the ultimate. How can we get the dream so that we don't drop the ball from the dream of the bride to the reality of the wedding? Making sure that dream stays alive throughout the whole process. And they've already seen some definite changes in how people order.
Like ordering early?
Ordering early. Some people are like, oh, but it was less than 21 days. You can do that. Just it cuts down the breadth of the expectation, gets a little smaller the closer we get to the wedding. We are not people of change. I don't think anybody likes change. So if you're used to doing something, it's like, how do we change that and make it more effective for all of us? And we should always be getting smarter and easier. And when you see something going backwards, you're like, wait a minute, we need to correct this because it doesn't have to be this hard.
Yeah.
But great people. They're on Instagram, Green Mountain Floral Supply, GMFSI. So yeah, great people.
Are they in Atlanta?
South Burlington, Vermont.
Oh,
Tom and
Vermont.
Kim Jennings. It's a second generation business. His dad started it, and just you know what, they've stuck with me through thick and thin, and we've been friends for a long time. They know where all the skeletons are buried and still love me. So that's all that matters.
That's right.
And,
Yep.
That's right.
So yeah.
So did you see anything that's trending now? Any colors, special design?
I believe, and this is just my belief, and I'm a supporter of it. I believe people are getting less and less scared of color. I think people are just like, let's bring some color. And a white wedding is beautiful, yes. And a pastel, soft, blushy wedding is beautiful. But I believe people are getting a little more apt to jump into color.
Okay.
It brings some individuality to it. Yeah. So I'm going to stick with that. Let's just say
I like
color.
it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. I'm always a big fan. Always a big fan of color. How many weddings a year do you do? Do you still do weddings? Do people reach out to you?
Yes, I do. But in my market, there's several really good dedicated wedding florists. And so it's harder for a freelancer or even a traditional retailer to grab that wedding unless it's a standard customer. And so what I've learned is I had a few good years of some really good weddings. And now those daughters have aged out. They've all gotten married. Some of them the second time. But anyway, once their daughters, when you start them as little ballerina bouquets, when
Right.
you get them married off,
Right.
it's, wait a minute, I got to wait. I'll be 90 years old before their babies are ready to
That's
get
what I was
married
going to
again. I
say.
mean, I won't want to
The
do it
next
then.
generation.
It's a come and go, and I'll do one or two maybe a year, but I really like doing them for people that I love doing things for. There's enough people in this market that can pump out a beautiful wedding and have it down like a science. And I'm not necessarily one of those. I like things very individual and very custom. So
But you work on a lot
Which
of
is not-
design teams. That do
I
big
do. I
ones.
work with other people,
Yeah.
yes, and I produce
Yes.
weddings. I just don't sell
Right.
them as
Yeah.
much. So yes,
Right.
which is, as a freelancer, is very
Yes.
profitable for me. I don't have to worry with the headache, and I don't have to worry with all the other stuff.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
just show up with these two hands and do some razzle dazzle.
Yeah. Which
A lot.
is a
Mhm.
gift. I
Didn't
mean,
know that was a thing back in the day. Didn't know you could just sell yourself. Your
Yeah.
skills.
Wait, no, I
That
think
sounds
that
very
sounds better. Yeah.
inappropriate.
people have been selling themselves since.
Very inappropriate for early in the morning. But
Yeah. That's been happening for a while there, Marlon.
I know they say it's the longest profession.
It
Yeah.
has.
All right.
If you read the Old Testament, it's been around a while.
Yeah, I'm more of a New Testament kind of guy. The Old Testament didn't care for my time.
It's both. It's
I'm too
OT.
adventuresome for the Old Testament. Let's stick with the New.
It's Old Testament scary.
Yeah, it's
Got some
frightening.
scary stuff in it. All right, moving forward. So one of the things that when we asked you to do a Moments with Marlin, you were like, ask your clickers. What design challenges, those kind of things. So I did. I asked when we had Shop Talk. There weren't some specific design challenges, but one of the questions that was on repeat in our group, our Facebook group, and in Shop Talk was, where do you find designers? They're struggling on where to find they can't get a good designer. I don't want to say good, I just designer. And I was like, I don't know if that's the kind of question he's looking for, but I'll throw it out there. Do you have any advice?
I'll give you some general answers. First one I would say is this isn't a miracle answer to that question, but I came from an environment where I needed a job, went in a flower shop. I'd had a little greenhouse experience in high school, went in, sold that greenhouse experience and said, I've worked in a flower shop. They found out the next day I didn't really know what I was doing, but it didn't matter. They needed somebody to deliver and somebody to wash buckets. So I delivered really well and I washed really good buckets.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kept watching, and the owner saw in me something, and he said, we're going to cultivate this, and we're going to elevate this. We're going to make this happen for you. And in that, it's going to happen for all of us. Mm-hmm. And so he took the time to train me. So where do I find a good designer? I would say, first off, grow one. Grow one of your own.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
And you can find those people even maybe online. You can find them in high school programs. You could find them FFA programs. You could find them through craft stores. And you know, go to a craft store and look in somebody's cart and see what they have and ask them, hey, what are you going to do with that?
That's a great idea.
Because people ask me that all the time. And or when I get to the register, they're like, what are you doing with that? I'm like, oh, you will never guess. Be nosy. And if you see somebody that's got some really great stuff in their cart, chances are they might have a creative mind.
Yeah.
You know? Ask them, hey, look, do you want to come in for an afternoon and intern and just experience something, and then see if it's something worth growing. But that requires you got to get out of yourself and you got to help other people. The second thing I thought, and I wrote it down, was first off, answer the question, what are you looking for? Are you looking for a designer to come in to take the load off of you, the shop owner, shop manager, head hog at the trough? Okay, those people are kind of hard to find, but they are there. And then that leads to the point of you have to pay people.
Yes.
Oops, there's that part.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Amen. Amen. Yes.
Yeah, because I've had a couple of things like, hey, can you come work? Yeah, I'd be glad to. Okay, this is what I can offer. Okay, that's $5 or $10 more than where I started when I came to Atlanta. That's not going to work from 20 years ago. That's not, you got to pay people. Pay them for what they're bringing to the table. And then you have to use people for their strengths. If you have design help within your shop that you're not using their strengths, then shame on you. Cultivate those strengths. Pull them from that job that they're doing and say, I need you to focus on this because this is where your strength is. Then fill into that other position over there.
Mm.
So it's look in your own backyard. Maybe you've got folks that can be better.
And that's the key. You
Right.
look in your backyard. Sometimes that we're just on autopilot, right? And we're not even looking to
Exactly.
see who we can grow within our organization as well.
But chances are, I think if you go back to that initial thought of what role are you trying to fulfill here? Because most people just want to get their plate cleared off. Take this off my plate and you can handle it. If they're going to do that, are you going to give up the freedom to not micromanage? Are you going to give that free, all that you can't have it both ways.
And speaking into that, working on this whole empathy session, one of the things that I have been studying is the practicing another person's perspective. And one thing shop owners / designers struggle with is when you do get a new hire, a new designer, is allowing them to design their way and not exactly how you want them. And hear me out. As long as they're following the recipe and the end result looks how it's supposed to be, the time frame that didn't take them 3 times longer. I'm saying all of those things. Maybe they didn't start with the right greens that you would have. That goes back to your micromanaging, right? That's what I hear and see a lot when I start really deep diving into the conversations with these people, with owners and managers. I'm like, give me a scenario of the last person you had. And that's the root.
You said started with the right greens. I go down even further. Did they do the greens first or did they do the greens last?
Right.
Because
both.
I used to do the greens first until somebody pointed out to me, you know what? If you use them last and effectively, you can use less greens and be more profitable. I never thought about that. I also learned that making a bow. Do you make it from the bottom to the top or from the top to the bottom? When you work with ribbon and you tell people to make a bow, you got to let them go because you know what? You're not going to reteach anybody how to tie a bow. You just one way, and that's how you do it. So
Vonda and Julie make them differently. I went through
everybody makes them differently.
Separate ways of doing it.
But they get to that same result. So yes.
Right. And that's the thing. Being able to relinquish control is a big deal there. That's the root of a lot of that.
We have that in Flower Click. That's when some people join and they're like, oh, you can't touch my website. It was like, wait a minute. That's what we do. You know?
Exactly.
But you joined to allow us to take this off your plate. Oh, but wait. I'm like, okay, then maybe not join.
Okay, so I have a great segue from this to get to the pretty part. So heads up, they gave me we're going to talk about pretty. And you can't talk about pretty unless you bring in Matt Wood and a wonderful human being, wonderful designer that just said, just make it pretty. And that's just the simplicity of all of this. But the segue is, I was trying to think, when did I start to recognize pretty? And I noticed growth in myself when I started just to look at something and go, that's pretty, instead of looking at it and saying, I would have done this.
Interesting.
And I thought, because I still, especially now with everyone posting on the internet, and you have to take in consideration it's a picture or a video taken at a club or no background, no lights, or blah, blah, blah. You just look at the picture and go, that's pretty, instead of, that's pretty, but I would have done. It doesn't matter what I would have done. That was what that person sold. Doesn't matter. I don't know the story behind that arrangement. When I noticed growth there, and that was how I can recognize pretty, when I could just look at it and go, that's pretty. And maybe there are some things I would have done differently, but I don't focus on that. I just focus on that's pretty and just let it be.
That's also self-awareness. So that's huge growth and self-awareness. You've obviously been in counseling before. Huge growth.
Lori.
And I'm telling you that because I have been in therapy.
Well, I mean, I just see Dr. Vonda and Dr. Lori periodically. I don't know what this counseling.
I was going to say that.
I don't know what counseling is. They don't know me there. So, yeah.
I just have activating your self-awareness as leaders. And that's a perfect
It's
example.
just exhausting. And I, you know what,
It's exhausting afterwards, Lord.
I've always said, I don't like to judge, but I'm really good at it. And I just don't, it's
Yeah.
exhausting. It
It's
is
exhausting.
exhausting. And the older I get, the more I realize my opinion does not matter. It does not, it's not going to make something prettier or less pretty. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter. And pretty is pretty.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
then I got to thinking, where does pretty fall on the scale? Is pretty just the sight of something? Is pretty, okay, so I'm showing you my gardenias. Gardenias are really pretty to me because my mother carried gardenias in her wedding. That's why they're pretty to
Mm-hmm.
me. Because I remember her saying she was just a simple country girl and she just married my daddy as a way to get out of her house, basically. And I remember they didn't have squat, but she said, but we had a gardenia bush. And so it means a lot to me to go to pick a gardenia off the
Right.
bush because I know that's what my mother did when she was 20 years
Right.
old.
Yeah.
Right.
And their fragrance is great. The flowers pretty. I don't like to work with them that often, but I love to just go to the bush and pick them because of my mother. That's pretty
Yeah.
to me.
So
And
that
so,
perspective, go back to Lori,
yes,
perspective. The pretty has a lot to do with
yeah,
the perspective.
it
Yeah.
is. I thought about what can I say that's so profound, and everybody, the big takeaway. We're the keepers of the pretty. We are the keepers of the pretty.
Yeah.
And if you follow the process, I wrote it down. We have a customer come to us with the idea in their head of what pretty means to them.
Right.
So we are the listeners for the pretty. We have to listen for that pretty. We have to listen from their pretty to sell them to our pretty. Then we have to interpret that pretty, whatever that means, and then create that pretty, which is differently than interpreting. Interpreting's in our head and creating's with our hands. So we have to create that pretty. Then we have to turn around and present that pretty to a whole other environment, a whole other person. So we start over here on this side, we go through that process, and then we present over here on this side. So we are the keepers of the pretty. We are in control of that pretty the whole time. And the quest, the success is to carry that pretty from the one who's sending the pretty to the one who's receiving the pretty. And what we do with that in between. And we are the ones in charge of that. What a gift.
Wow.
What a gift.
And a responsibility.
Well,
And a
right.
responsibility.
Yeah.
And
Right.
we're going to mess up on it. We're going to mess up on it because we're
Yeah.
human. The more we listen on the front end, the
Right.
easier the presentation on the back end gets.
Yeah.
Because all in all, and back in the 80s, we did a lot of line designs. Everything had to have a fabulous line, a beautiful tropical. When it comes to flowers and the common man, just give me something that's pretty.
Mhm.
And most flowers are always pretty.
Mhm.
And I remember some more growth when I realized, because I love bright colors, I love spring colors, I'm gypsy. I have to be. I know I am. And I love the brightness and boldness of color. But the moment that I could realize that brown and bronze and honey and those tones were equally as beautiful as anything that's bright and circus oriented, for that matter, that's when I knew there was growth. When a brown, I don't want to say fall because fall, that denotes something that's really beautiful. But when you can look at a brown flower and go, oh my gosh, that's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when I know that pretty is just, it's so wide, it's so vast. Yeah, I don't know. And then when does pretty become really beautiful, become stunning? And then I will end it with, and becomes absolutely fabulous. Pretty can get to fabulous in just a few steps.
Yeah.
But I had to throw fabulous in there.
You had to put fabulous in
Yeah,
there.
exactly. It wouldn't be me. Because I always say, I'm thankful that I don't sell nuts and bolts for a living, because that's just, maybe that's pretty to them. I don't want to judge that, but it's not very pretty to me. One flower, one daisy can change someone's world for that moment. And I just think, what a gift. What a gift.
Yeah. Nuts and bolts. I tell my husband all the time, I feel so sorry for you.
As he's
And-
leaving to go to the gym. Woo. I
Are
knew
you
I was
mocking
going
me?
to. Let me scratch that
You
off.
just had
Let
to
me scratch
throw
that
it
off
in
my
there.
notes. I got Jim in there. Good for me.
You
Okay.
had to throw it in there. It's okay. I don't care. I don't care. You think that makes me want to go? No, it's going to make me not go again.
I have another answer that you can give him, but go ahead with your husband.
Here's why I feel sorry for him. The industry he works in is the most boring, ugly. Ugh. I'm like, how can you even wake up and go Like he's at a little convention thing this week. By the time this airs, he'll be back. But I'm like, I said to him, I bet there are no flowers when you walk in that hotel. And I bet you're right. You're right. There's none there. And I'm like, that's just sad. That is so
No
sad.
pretty there, Marlon. No pretty.
Nothing pretty. It's just, and it's okay.
But
okay.
Mark does appreciate pretty because he likes to be on the golf course.
He does. He loves the golf course. But I'm like, I just feel sad for the rest of the world.
I will say he probably went to Italy with a little excitement because of all the pretty.
Oh, he did love that. Yeah.
You know what? He was definitely pretty adjacent.
Mhm.
So
He
so
loved that.
when he asks you to go to the gym, next time I want you to say, I can't get any more fabulous than I already am.
That is such a great
bam,
idea.
bam.
So there you go. That's all you got to say.
Yeah.
You don't want me to get any more fabulous.
No, you couldn't handle any
You
more.
couldn't handle it, and you couldn't have the people you would have to beat off. That's just, get out of my way. Yeah, that's my wife.
And here's the thing. I do my swimming pool exercises. I run around in my pool by myself.
As long as you get your toes in that grass, that's all that matters, isn't it?
I do it every morning. So anyway, I digress.
Well,
but
that is just awesome. I love how you went from pretty to fabulous.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. And I want to go back to what you said because I do think this is key for our listeners. Your job as the keeper of the pretty is to take your customers' vision, which sometimes can be a little
vague.
Yeah. I want purple, green, and yellow roses for grandma's funeral to represent his whatever. And you are going to, okay, how can I soften this, blend it, and make it beautiful? That's your
You'd have
job.
to make it beautiful. You just have to make it pretty.
Correct. Right. You go for pretty, but if your first step is I have to listen with no judgment.
With no judgment. And that is really hard.
I know. And even if my lips don't say it, but my ears hear it, my face will display. I need to wear a veil. And that part of that listening and selling the pretty, that's where the judgment needs to go away. And you need to also sell what you have. You need to be smart about it all. And you get to practice that with each person, with each customer that comes along. And as long as the sale ends in pretty and there's some green cash coming in, we've done our job. So.
That's perfect. Perfection.
Part of our brain, our amygdala, I think is what it's called.
I think I used to work with her.
Yeah, I think you did. I think you fired her.
Anyway, I liked her. She was good.
That part of our brain is where our emotions and our facial expressions are the same. So if your emotions are rising up and someone's telling you something, you're like, oh, that's going to be awful. We almost can't help ourselves with our face. So that's where your mindfulness comes in. That's why it's a constant practice for those of us that aren't good at it.
I've always said it's better to be like I am than for people to wonder what I'm always thinking. They pretty much, they got me. And if you can't handle it, that's fine. I'm not for everyone. I get it.
No,
but you know what? My little handful, I love.
I was going to say, you're for me.
So.
You're for me, Marlon.
I'm y'all for me too. You just got to realize I'm a lot for a lot of people. So it's like,
I am not everyone's cup of tea.
No, I'm good. I'm good. But I'm a very tasty cup of tea to those that love me.
Yes,
you are.
I'm sweet tea. I'm sweet iced tea.
Well, thank you for this Moments with Marlin episode. We are so excited, and we're going to do it again. Woo!
I can't wait to see y'all next in a few days for a symposium. Yes! Looking forward to it. Vonda, you're going to rock. It's just going to be fabulous. And Lori, you're going to rock too with your seminar. And everybody's going to be there. All right. See y'all soon.
All right.